Okay, let's start. So, as you guys all know, we'll do the project today. So the project will be uploaded on KLMS at 12 p.m. today, and the due date is 24 hours from then. So it's tomorrow, 11:59 a.m. And today I'll talk about the instruction on how to do this. So first of all you guys have this docs link, right? So first of all, we'll provide three files on KLMS: the image file, zip file, and Colab Jupyter Notebook, how to run the Python script on Colab, and the skeleton code. So this is the skeleton code. And your task is to complete skeleton code and submit by KLMS. And you must rename this file into your student ID. So if you just submit in this way, we will not grade it. And your code will be graded in Google Colab environment. So and how it is evaluated is we will compare the loss from your code with ours. And all C's will be fixed and codes are run in the same environment. So if you follow below instruction carefully, and loss should be the same with ours. And you are free to write your code in any environment, but we recommend testing in Colab because that's how the evaluation will take place. And this step is about how you can run your code in Colab, but we'll skip this for now and we'll start from here. Yeah. So in the skeleton code, after you rename your file, you have to fill the to-do section. And you don't necessarily have to write codes only in the to-do. You can write like functions or Python classes outside the main function, but do not change the code that says do not change. As long as the code works without making these changes, you can add whatever functions you want. And also it's very important that you should not install any additional libraries beyond what we have imported for you. And if you like upgraded additional libraries or imported additional libraries that we did not define and the error comes out, we will not grade it. Okay, so also note that unless specified, functions we define all follows the default setting. So like for example, all you guys have learned neural networks like nn.layer, nn.linear. So they have bias, and bias is the default setting for bias is true. So like unless specified, do not do not do not modify it. We will only use the default setting. And okay, so as you guys all know, we are doing generative adversarial network, GAN, and GAN is composed of generator and discriminator. And so this is the spec for how you should implement the generator and the discriminator. And for the highlighted part, you have to calculate yourself. Yeah, so this is very simple. This is the first project, so this is very simple. So I will not talk about this one. And so, okay, for training and evaluating. So you should use GPU when training the model. So you guys have already done GPU training with the TA session. It's the same. And the loss function we will use binary cross-center plus for any loss calculations, and LMW optimizer with running rate this one. And so we provide one function. So this is generate noise function. So we made this function for use so that every student has this. If you follow the instruction carefully, your code should be same as ours. If you do not use this generate noise function, then the loss will different even though your code is correct. So you must use generate noise function when generating the noise. And you can just follow this order. You will know what it is. And it's also very important to not manipulate any seed variables like adding or subtracting. Yeah, so always use predefined generate function. And be aware that this generate noise function also outputs random noise and seed. So you have to define also the seed when using this. I mean, like you have to have the output as seed. And for each epoch, like for like within this range, calculate the sum of loss on whole evaluation set. So this loss is composed of generator and discriminator's BCE loss. And you have to change this part to your own loss. Any question for now? Oh, there was already a question. Okay, I think Jiyoung has already answered some of the questions. The instruction video will be uploaded to the classroom, but it will take time to encode it, so not as soon. I think maybe less than an hour, but okay. Is there any question until this part? So about the model implementation? You don't necessarily need to change the code, but if you want, it's up to you. Unless you don't change, not to change. We only have sample Colab note about loss. Yeah, okay, so we provide this boundary. So if you run your code with seed 100 and stop epoch 3, you can compare if your loss falls within this range. Will specific Youngjin, this is why we are evaluating on Colab. So for every student, the Colab is the same. Should we use vanilla? You should use GAN as this instruction, only in this instruction. If you implement it correctly, about 3 epochs, it runs like 1.5 minutes, about 90 seconds. No, actually, the loss should be identical to ours, but this is the exam, so we will not tell you the exact loss. We just give you the minimum guideline. So there is already there is an answer, not just between 200 and 300. There is exact value. Yes, that's right. The noise is fixed and the environment we're evaluating is same. Okay, I'll talk about the grading criteria first? Yes, that's right. Oh, actually, if you like, yeah, you can just change the to-do section and the code. If you implement it correctly, then it will be same. So for the grading criteria, if your evaluation loss is identical to TA's code, then you're A. And if it's within 10% error range, and it's B. And if you just uploaded a functioning code, but the error is way different from ours, it's C. And if you submit non-functioning code, it's D. And if you did not submit, it's F. This is how we will grade your code. And yes, the video will be uploaded. So the code is set to run for a total of 5 epochs. And the skeleton code will take stop epoch and seed at so there are 4 arguments. You don't need to change this image path and output path because we already give you. And the training and evaluation runs for a specified stop epoch. So if you set this stop epoch to 4, the code will only run for 4 epochs. And the evaluation loss at this epoch will be reported. And as I told you, if your code is correct, your loss when the seed is 100 and stub epoch 3, your loss value on evaluation set will be between 200 and 300. Okay, there will be 3 projects. If I get 8, I don't know. That's up to professor. Does the actual evaluation run for entire? Does the actual evaluation run for entire 5 epoch? I don't know what you're talking about. Does the actual evaluation run for? So the total epoch is set. I mean, when you grade the project. No, it's only at the 3rd epoch loss. If I set this argument to 3, I will only evaluate. So the 3rd epoch's loss should come out. So the reference loss is after 3 epochs. Yes, that's right. Actually, when you put this argument, it will break when in this epoch. We made a skeleton code to break it, so you don't need to worry about it. I mean, break the for loop. I mean, the total epoch is set for 5 epoch. So like so like the for I in epoch in range 5, like your code here, and if arguments stop epoch is 3, this one is 3. Yeah, break it. Yeah, and it breaks. You got it? This is already set for you. This part, this reporting part is already set for you, so you don't need to worry about it. The generate noise function that give noise with size of can be directly fed to the generator. Uh, it's it's same as just just normal generating noise that you already have dealt in the TA session, but instead you have to use this function, not you use torch rand and directly. This is the difference. Guideline 3 pulse, the last pulse within range. Right, degrading. For grading criteria, we will not announce it. I mean, like which epoch we will compare is, or which seed is not, we will not announce it. But you can just see if your code is right when you set this stub epoch to 3, and if it falls between 200 and 300. Yeah, we will not tell you about the epoch or seed. So we don't have to care about all settings for evaluation, just implement the functional code, right? Yes, that's right. Yes, for any functions, you can just, if it's not defined, just use the default setting. So like for leaky ReLU, there is like negative slope, I think. But if you just set nothing, and it will just work as default setting, default parameter. If I have no question about this case, yeah, you can leave the room now. Uh, since there is a lot of foreigners, I will only answer to the questions that are there in English right now, and later I'll talk in Korean. Log function in the wait update will stand for PyTorch BC. Well, actually, wait update is up to optimizer, not the loss function. So you calculate your loss with BC loss, but for the wait update rules, you have to use the optimizer at MW. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Okay, so I'll show you how to run the code in Google Colab. So as I told you, there will be 3 files on KLMS. So first you make a folder. I'll just show it right now. First you make a folder, AI504. So I asking about this paragraph. Ah, yes, the loss is BC loss. You're right. And so I'll give it this CelebA.zip and how to run in Colab, and my renamed Python script. And so first of all, you have to always check if the runtime uses Python 3 and T4 GPU. And the first code mounts your drive into the Jupyter notebook. So if you do this, you can use the Google Drive as your path. Yes, it will be unloaded. So log in. So it's mounted, and this code checks if you have made the right directory. So if there's AI AI504 at the my drive, and if there is CelebA.z, and if there is my Python script. So this is set to my student ID, but you have to change to yours. So if you run this code, it'll have to output all true. And for the third code, it unzips this celeb zip file. So if you run this code, it zips 11,000 images. I think it takes about like only 30 seconds. Less it's really small. You don't have to worry about the space. Okay, it's done. And if you like, so this folder will come out. And if you run the fourth cell, it counts how many files in there, and you have to check if it's 11,000. If it's not, you have to like, if there was an error in the unzipping, so you have to do again from the beginning. And so after this is done, you can just run this file. If you have changed your code, and yeah, if you where is it? If you run this file, there will be one txt file will come out in your drive, and this will contain your student ID and the loss at the third epoch if you have put this here in the 3. So as per the images are they all like to send your credit. Oh, we give you all the transforming and processing code for images, so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, so but today I found out that sometimes Colab doesn't output result text file even though the code is same. So if it doesn't, you don't have to worry. We'll just handle it. So you don't need to necessarily find out if there's tx result.txt or not. If you have not modified the code not to change, then it will generate anyway, so you don't have to worry. And is there any question for now? So what field have to submit? What file have to submit? You have to submit student.id.py after changing the name to your student ID. Just to make sure, we don't need to submit the result file, only file. Yes, that's right. You don't need to submit anything else than the Python script. Actually, the result txt is for our evaluation, so you don't need to care about it. Since there are like 300 students, so we had to automatically calculate your grades. So that's why we have made this code for results. But Yeah, so actually you don't have to care about it. Any question? Okay, then we'll go to this notification. So as I told you, do not install any additional Python libraries beyond default setting in Google Colab. And if there is like errors related to Python, additional Python libraries, we will not grade it. And your code should utilize GPU, like you know what it means, like data.cuda, like this kind of stuff. And if you skip the code using GPU and if it runs more than 10 minutes, we'll skip evaluating. 태원님 DM 말고 전체 채팅으로 부탁드립니다. Which one will check? I will not tell you which loss we will evaluate. So it's just you can have a guideline as 3 epoch 100 seed, but for exact loss, we will not tell you. I mean exact seed and epoch. Which one will you check if loss? Which one will you check if loss is? I told you I will not tell you which loss we will grade. This one is only for the guideline if you have made your code correctly or not. So if you encounter any issues, please post English on Classroom and we'll respond as quick as possible. And do not ask by email. And you have by using KLMS, you have to only submit the renamed student ID.py. So if you submit other than Python scripts like other files or compressed files, or if you compress it and upload it, we will not grade it. And you can modify some of the other than the to-do section, but if you change not to change section, and if the result is different with TAs, we will not give you like extra chance. And we use Colab to ensure the evaluation environment is consistent with all students testing environments. So you're free to write code anywhere, but make sure to test it once in Google Colab. And I already told you about the grading criteria, and so plagiarism warning. So like I've been doing this TA for like 2 years, and always there was code copying issue. So students have copied other students' code and just submitted. And we can find out actually. So both copier and the provider will have face some this school regulation, and so please do not copy other students' code. So any question? Couldn't two students' code be the same and largely similar without copy? You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. Like I know you guys can worry about like because of the TA sessions code, but you don't have to worry. If you just didn't copy from other students, it's fine. Yes, you can utilize the code from practice session. Okay. Uh, any questions? So I'll take questions like 15 or 20 minutes. You can just now ask Korean or English, whatever. Wouldn't be almost same. It should be exactly same as TA's. I'm sorry. It wouldn't be almost same. It wouldn't be almost same. Yes, I know that. I understand, but you don't have to worry about it. 그 TA 코드 세션을 썼다고 해서 갑자기 막 저희가 그 막 표절했다 이런 일은 없을 거예요. 그냥 걱정 안 하셔도 됩니다. 평가 부분 어디 부분을 말씀하시는 거죠? 어, 그러니까 이 스탑 이폭이 3으로 돼 있으면 이폭이 3일 때 그때 이제 그 전에 그 해당 에폭에서 로스를 다 계산해가지고 로스를 이밸류에이션 로스를 다 더해서 저희 코드랑 비교한 저희의 그때의 이밸류에이션이랑 같은지를 보는 거예요. 이해 가셨나요? 그 로스가 200이랑 300 사이에 있어야 된다는 거예요. 네. KLMS에 올릴 예정입니다. The files will be uploaded in KLMS on 12 today. 학습 시 혹은 시간 저희가 네, 에폭은 그 그냥 코드에 있는 거 그대로 사용하시면 됩니다. 그 스켈레톤 코드에서 이 폭을 건드리는 일은 없으실 거예요. 네, 맞습니다. 모든 데이터는 아니고 사실 이제 그 이밸루에이션 데이터죠. You don't have to make a data loader. We already gives you data loader.
근데 혹시 질문이 하나 있는데,
네네.
예, 그러니까 만약 굳이 에포크 3에서 멈출 거면은
네.
애초 코드를 에포크 3까지만 돌게 설계를 하고 굳이 멈추는 과정을 없애도 될 것 같은데 혹시 의도가 있는 건가요, 이게?
사실 의도는 없어요. 사실 그렇게 따지면 하나만 해도 되는 거잖아요.
예,
굳이
그래서
뭐 3도 할 필요도 없고. 근데 이제 3으로 한 이유가
예.
1로 해버리면 그냥 학생들이 한입폰만 돌리고 그냥 바로 끝낼 거 아니에요.
네, 제 말은 토탈 에포크를 그냥 애당초 3으로 하고 멈추지 않,
근데 저희가 4로 할 수도 있잖아요. 시점을 할 때는.
채점은 그러니까 채점할 때는
다르게 한다는 거죠.
다르게 할 수도 있지만
네,
그냥
맞습니다.
학생들이 참고할 때는 3의 것을 참고해서 200 사이에서 300 사이에 대충 들어오는지
네,
봐라라고
맞습니다.
된
네,
거죠. 네.
맞습니다.
네. 알겠습니다.
네.
감사합니다.
아, 이게 학습은 5회포까지 시키는 게 아닙니다. 그러니까 이게 오해가 있을 것 같은데 예를 들어서 여기서 보통 코드가 트레인을 하잖아요. 여기서 에폭마다 트레인을 하잖아요. 트레인 데이터셋에 대해서. 그리고 트레인 된 거에 대해서 이제 이베를 하잖아요. 그럼 트레인을 하고 이베를 하고 이 폭이 스탑 이폭일 때 그때 이벨 로스를 내는 거거든요. 그리고 브레이크를 하는 거예요. 그러니까 사실상 3위폭이라고 하면 세 번 학습, 그러니까 2폭이 3일 때, 사실 2폭이 3이면 정확하게 4번 학습한 건데, 3일 때 트레인한 거에 대해서 3번 트레인한, 그러니까 2폭이 3일 때까지 트레인한 모델에 대해서 이벨을 하고, 그때의 이벨리에이션 셋에 대한 로스를 내뱉는 거예요. 그러니까 학습을 5번 하고, 로스는 3번 하고 이렇게 하는 게 아니에요. 네, 다 포함되어 있습니다.
제 질문이 있는데요.
네네.
그 혹시 맞게 짜는지 보려면 200에서 300 사이에 대충 떨어지는지 보라고 하셨잖아요.
네네.
근데 이게 200에서 300 사이에서 떨어진다고 해서 저기 가이딩 크라이테리아에 있는 A에 해당되는 거는 보장이 되어 있지 않는 거죠. 그러니까 당연히.
네, 당연하죠.
아, 네, 알겠습니다.
네. 저희는 소수점 세 짝짜리까지 비교를 합니다. 그래서 소수점 세 짝짜리까지 정확해요. 근데 사실 지금 이 코드가 저희가 이, 이 가이드라인을 다 줬잖아요. 정확하게. 커널 사이즈는 몇이고, 뭐 리니어 레이스는 인풋 몇, 아웃풋 몇, 노이즈 벡터는 어떻게 쓰고, 그리고 저희가 심지어 그 노이즈 벡터가 이제 보통 이제 그 랜덤 정규 분포에서 랜덤하게 뽑는 걸로 되어 있는데, 그게 사실 학생들마다 뽑으면 다 다르거든요. 그래서 그걸 방지하고자 저희가 제너레이트 노이즈 함수도 뽑기 전에 시드가 항상 고정되도록 만든 거예요. 그래서 이걸 안 쓰시면 저희랑 달라지는 거죠. 로스가. 그래서 그냥 이 가이드라인 그대로 따라가시면 사실 똑같을 수밖에 없어요.
아, 네, 감사합니다.
네. 정의되지 않은 함수는 그러니까 저희가 따로 얘기 안 했으면 다 디폴트입니다. 예를 들어서 BC 로스도 사실 리덕션을 뭐 썸을 하는 것도 있고 미인을 하는 것도 있고 많잖아요. 근데 저희가 안 썼죠. 그럼 그냥 안 정의하면 된다는 거예요. 5분 정도 더 받도록 하겠습니다. 네, 뭐 그 부분은 아마 그럴 것 같습니다. 이게 그러니까 저희가 굳이 시드랑 입폭을 안 하는 게 예를 들어서 한 학생이 저희가 300명의 코드를 다 들쳐가지고 확인할 수가 없거든요. 그럼 예를 들어서 싼 학생이 뭐 시드 예를 들어서 100이랑 입폭 3에서 로스가 뭐 200점 뭐 947 나왔어. 라고 해버리면 그냥 어떤 학생이 그냥 그것만 그냥 코드에 넣어가지고 그냥 넣어버리면 사실 맞게 채점될 거 아니에요. 그래가지고 그런 걸 방지하고자 저희가 채점할 때 쓰는 시드랑 입폭 안 알려드리는 겁니다. Yes, it's not given. 콜앱에서 돌리시면 3회폭 기준으로 한 90초 정도 걸립니다. 다시 한 번 말씀드리면 일단은 트레이닝이든 이밸루에이션, 제너럴 노이즈는 다 저희가 드린 함수를 써야 되고 5번 학습시킨 모델에 대해서 세 번째 이폭을 돌린다는 게 아니라 이폭이란 게 사실 뭐 트레인 따로고 밸리드 따로 하는 게 아니잖아요. 한 번에 하는 거죠. 트레인하고 밸리데이트하고 그 다음 이폭에서 트레인하고 밸리데이트하고 그래서 스탑 이폭까지 학습된 모델에 대해서 밸리데이션 로스를 리포트하는 거예요. 그냥 저희는 이제 그냥 이거를 드린 이유는 그냥 이제 전체 뭐 사실 이게 지금 5든 10이든 100이든 상관이 없거든요. 어차피 여기서 끝나기 때문에 포르 브레이크가 되잖아요. 그래서 이 5회 폭은 신경을 안 쓰셔도 됩니다. 아예. 네, BC 로스랑 아담 W 옵티마이저 쓰시면 됩니다. 그 개인 서버 뭐 그러니까 랩실에 자기가 개인 서버든 아니면 뭐 개인 PC든 그 코드를 돌려볼 수 있는 그 GPU가 있는 환경이 있다라고 하면 그냥 그쪽에 짜셔도 돼요, 사실. 그쪽에 짜시고 다 코드 짜놓은 다음에 맨 마지막에 그냥 콜앱에서도 제가 위에 설명해드린 방법으로도 그대로 돌아가나만 확인하셔도 사실 됩니다. 사실 그리고 그냥 개인 PC로 짜더라도 잘 짰으면 범위가 일로 들어갈 거예요, 어차피. 웬만하면. 어쨌든 중요한 거는 이제 마지막에 제출하시기 전에 이제 그 해당 파일이 그냥 콜앱에서 동일하게 그냥 이게 돌아가는지만 확인해 주시면 돼요. 코드 그러면 그렇다 어떻게 짜시든 상관없어요. 네, 그러면 so I think there is no more questions, so we'll end this session here and we'll upload this video as soon as possible. And the files will be uploaded on 12 p.m. Okay. Wish you guys all good luck.